stop. Before you scroll past this video, I need you to look at these 3 livers on your screen right now. The first liver belongs to a completely healthy person. Notice how clean and vibrant it looks. The second liver? That's from someone who's been drinking alcohol heavily for years. But here's what's going to absolutely shock you to your core. The third liver, the one that looks the most damaged and diseased, belongs to someone who has never touched a drop of alcohol in their entire life. This could be your liver right now, sitting inside your body, slowly dying, and you don't even know it. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to save your life. If you think you're safe because you don't drink alcohol, you need to think again, and you need to think fast. I'm about to expose a hidden epidemic that's silently destroying millions of American livers, and it has absolutely nothing to do with alcohol. What I'm going to reveal in the next few minutes will completely change how you think about your health, your diet, and the choices you make every single day. By the end of this video, you'll discover the one devastating habit that's literally turning your liver into a toxic waste dump. And more importantly, I'll give you the simple steps you can take starting today to reverse this damage before it becomes irreversible. And before we dive into this life-changing information, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel. If this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments below. If not, type 0. And also, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself. Do you ever wake up in the morning feeling like you haven't slept at all, even after 8 hours in bed? Do you find yourself dragging through the day, reaching for another cup of coffee just to function? Has your skin lost that healthy glow it used to have? Are you dealing with stubborn weight gain that won't budge, no matter what diet you try? Do you experience brain fog, where you can't think clearly or remember things like you used to? Are you battling mysterious aches and pains that doctors can't explain? Do you feel bloated after meals or struggle with digestive issues that seem to come out of nowhere? If you nodded yes to even one of these symptoms, your liver might be desperately screaming for help, sending you distress signals that you've been misinterpreting as normal signs of aging or stress. What you're experiencing isn't normal, and it's not something you have to live with. These symptoms are your liver's way of telling you that it's drowning in toxins and can't keep up with the demands you're placing on it every single day. Here's a statistic that should make your blood run cold and wake you up to the reality of what's happening in America right now. New research reveals that 1 in every 3 Americans now has fatty liver disease. That's over 100 million people walking around with seriously damaged livers, and the vast majority don't even know it's happening. We're talking about your neighbors, your coworkers, your family members, and potentially you. Even more terrifying is this fact. 35% of American children, innocent kids who should be at the peak of health, are now showing early signs of liver disease. We are literally poisoning our next generation, and most parents have no idea it's happening. But here's what the medical establishment doesn't want you to know, because it completely destroys their narrative about liver disease. A comprehensive study that analyzed health records from 195 countries between 1990 and 2017 found that alcohol was responsible for only 2% of liver disease cases. 2%. So what's causing the other 98% of liver damage that's reaching epidemic proportions across America? The answer is going to shock you, and it's hiding in plain sight. Your liver is the most underappreciated organ in your entire body, working around the clock like a silent superhero that never gets the recognition it deserves. Right now, as you're sitting there watching this video, your liver is performing over 500 different vital functions without you even being aware of it. It's filtering more than 1,000 liters of blood every single day. That's over a liter every single minute. working harder than any other organ except your brain. In fact, when your body is at rest, your liver actually consumes more calories than your brain does because it's working so incredibly hard to keep you alive and healthy. Think of your liver as your body's personal security system and detox center rolled into one. It stands guard between you and every single toxin, chemical, pollutant, and poison that tries to enter your system. When you eat food, every nutrient has to pass through your liver first before it goes anywhere else in your body. When you breathe air, the chemicals and pollutants in that air travel through your bloodstream directly to your liver. When you drink water, take medications, or come into contact with any substance, your liver has to process it, neutralize the harmful parts, and try to protect the rest of your body from damage. But here's the problem. Your liver can only handle so much before it starts to break down. Imagine trying to drink from a fire hose or trying to bail water out of a sinking boat with a teacup. That's exactly what's happening to your liver in our modern toxic world. We're overwhelming this incredible organ with more toxins, chemicals, and poisons than it was ever designed to handle. And it's literally drowning in the toxic soup we've created. When your liver starts to fail, it doesn't just affect one system in your body, it affects everything. If your face has lost its natural glow, if your skin looks dull or aged, if you're constantly tired and can't figure out why, if your hair is turning gray prematurely, if you're experiencing frequent headaches, unexplained body pains, chronic bloating, or if you're battling conditions like diabetes, high cholesterol, stubborn weight gain, chronic inflammation, or high blood pressure. We typically treat these as completely separate problems. We go to different specialists, take different medications, and never connect the dots. But what if I told you that all of these seemingly unrelated health issues could trace back to one struggling, overwhelmed organ? This is exactly why liver disease accounts for such a massive portion of deaths globally, and why America contributes almost 20% to these preventable deaths. The tragedy is that our medical system isn't actually focused on keeping you healthy. It's focused on treating you after you get sick. There's no money in prevention, but there's enormous profit in managing chronic disease. Healthy people don't generate revenue for hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, or medical device manufacturers. So instead of teaching you how to protect your liver and prevent disease, the system waits until you're sick enough to need expensive treatments, procedures, and lifelong medications. Now, let me explain exactly how your liver works so you can understand where this system is breaking down and why millions of Americans are developing liver disease without ever touching alcohol. Your liver is unique among all your organs because it receives blood from two completely different sources. 75% of the blood flowing through your liver comes from something called the portal vein, which carries blood directly from your stomach, pancreas, and intestines. This blood is loaded with all the nutrients, toxins, chemicals, and everything else from the food and drinks you consume. This means that literally everything you put in your mouth has to pass through your liver first before it goes anywhere else in your body. The remaining 25% of blood flowing through your liver comes directly from your heart through the hepatic artery, which delivers oxygenated blood to keep your liver cells alive and functioning. But here's the crucial point. This blood from your heart also carries everything you breathe in, including all the pollutants, chemicals, and toxins in the air. So whether you're consuming toxins through your mouth or breathing them through your lungs, everything has to pass through your liver for processing. Inside your liver, these two blood sources mix together and flow through tiny blood vessels called sinusoids. Your liver cells, called hepatocytes, work frantically to filter out toxins and waste from this mixed blood while trying to convert nutrients into usable energy for your body. After this filtering process, The cleaned blood flows back to your heart through the inferior vena cava, where it gets pumped out to nourish the rest of your body. It sounds simple, but this process is incredibly complex and demanding, especially when your liver is constantly overwhelmed with toxins. So now that you understand how your liver works, let me reveal the two main killers that are destroying the livers of millions of Americans every single day. These are the hidden threats that nobody talks about, but they're slowly poisoning us from the inside out. The first killer is the pollution and toxins we can't avoid. We've already established that everything we consume and breathe passes through our liver, so let's take a hard look at the toxic environment we're living in. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the average American is exposed to over 80,000 different chemicals every single day. These aren't natural substances that our bodies were designed to handle. These are synthetic chemicals that didn't even exist 100 years ago, and our livers have no natural mechanism for processing them effectively. The air we breathe is contaminated with volatile organic compounds, aromatic hydrocarbons, heavy metals like lead and mercury, particulate matter, and industrial pollutants that would have been unimaginable to previous generations. If you live near a highway, in any major city, close to an industrial area, or work in an environment with chemical exposure like painting, construction, manufacturing, or even many office buildings with poor ventilation systems, you're at extremely high risk for toxic liver damage. But the air pollution is just the beginning. Our food supply has become a chemical nightmare that's systematically poisoning our livers. The average piece of conventional produce in America contains residues from multiple pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. 70% of fruits and vegetables sold in American grocery stores contain detectable pesticide residues, and many contain levels that exceed what other countries consider safe for human consumption. We're literally eating poison every time we think we're eating healthy. The problem doesn't stop with fresh produce. Processed foods, which make up the majority of the average American diet, are loaded with artificial preservatives, synthetic colors, flavor enhancers, stabilizers, emulsifiers, and dozens of other chemicals that your liver struggles to process. High fructose corn syrup, which is derived from genetically modified corn and processed with industrial enzymes, is hidden in everything from bread to salad dressing to supposedly healthy yogurt. Even our water supply is contaminated. Municipal water treatment plants can't remove many of the industrial chemicals, pharmaceutical residues, and agricultural runoff that contaminate our water sources. Chlorine and fluoride, which are deliberately added to most municipal water supplies, create additional stress on your liver's detoxification systems. This environmental poisoning is happening whether we like it or not. We can't control the air we breathe or completely avoid all contaminated food and water. But there's another poison that's even more toxic to our livers, and this one we're choosing to consume willingly, often multiple times every single day. The second liver killer, and this is the big one, is the standard American diet that's loaded with processed foods and hidden sugars. This is the one habit that I'm begging you to stop, because it's single-handedly responsible for the epidemic of fatty liver disease that's destroying the health of millions of Americans. Here's what's happening inside your body every time you eat processed foods, drink sodas, consume hidden sugars, or eat refined carbohydrates. Your blood sugar spikes dramatically, forcing your pancreas to dump massive amounts of insulin into your bloodstream to try to control the sugar levels. This insulin surge triggers a cascade of metabolic changes that turn your liver into a fat storage facility instead of the detox powerhouse it's supposed to be. Your body has three main places where it stores energy: your liver, your muscles, and your fat cells. Under normal, healthy conditions, when you eat whole, unprocessed foods, Your liver stores a small amount of energy as glycogen. Your muscles store energy for physical activity, and only excess energy gets stored in fat cells. But when you constantly spike your insulin with processed foods and sugars, this entire system gets disrupted. Instead of storing energy efficiently throughout your body, the high insulin levels force your liver to convert excess sugar and carbohydrates directly into fat. This fat doesn't just disappear, it gets stored right inside your liver cells, creating what we call fatty liver disease or hepatic steatosis. This can happen to anyone, regardless of their body weight. You can be thin on the outside and still have a fatty, diseased liver on the inside. As this fat continues to accumulate in your liver, it triggers chronic inflammation. Your liver cells start to become damaged and scarred, progressing from simple fatty liver to a more serious condition called fibrosis, where scar tissue begins to replace healthy liver tissue. If this process continues unchecked, it eventually progresses to cirrhosis, where your liver becomes so scarred and damaged that it can barely function. At that point, the damage is often irreversible, and liver transplant becomes the only option for survival. The terrifying part about this progression is how quickly it can happen with our modern lifestyle. You can go from having a healthy liver to having serious fatty liver disease in just a few years of eating the standard American diet. And because your liver doesn't have pain receptors, you won't feel anything until the damage is already severe. This is why 80% of IT professionals in cities like Seattle and San Francisco are now suffering from fatty liver disease, and most of them have no idea why it's happening. They think they're living healthy lives. They don't smoke, they don't drink excessively, they exercise occasionally, and they eat what they think is a normal diet. But that normal American diet is absolutely destroying their livers. The average American consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. That's equivalent to eating 6 cups of sugar every single week. But most people have no idea they're consuming this much sugar because it's hidden in everything. It's in pasta sauce, salad dressing, bread, yogurt, granola bars, protein bars, sports drinks, fruit juices, and thousands of other products that don't even taste particularly sweet. High fructose corn syrup is particularly devastating to your liver because fructose can only be metabolized by your liver, unlike glucose, which can be used by every cell in your body. When you consume high fructose corn syrup, your liver has to process 100% of that fructose, and if you're consuming it regularly throughout the day, your liver never gets a break from this metabolic stress. But it's not just added sugars that are destroying our livers. Refined carbohydrates like white bread, pasta, rice, crackers, and most breakfast cereals get converted to sugar almost immediately when you eat them, causing the same insulin spikes and liver fat storage that direct sugar consumption causes. Your liver can't tell the difference between a donut and a bowl of white rice. They both flood your system with sugar and force your liver to convert the excess into fat. The processed food industry has spent billions of dollars engineering foods that are specifically designed to be addictive and to override your body's natural satiety signals. They've created what food scientists call the bliss point, the perfect combination of sugar, salt, and fat that triggers dopamine release in your brain and makes you crave more. These foods are literally designed to be addictive, and your liver pays the price for every single bite. Here's the progression of liver damage that happens when you continue this destructive habit. Stage 1 is simple fatty liver, where fat begins accumulating in your liver cells. You might feel more tired than usual, but you probably blame it on stress, work, or getting older. Your liver is still functioning, but it's working much harder than it should be. Stage 2 is when inflammation sets in. Your liver becomes enlarged and inflamed as your immune system tries to deal with the fat accumulation and cellular damage. This is when you start experiencing more noticeable symptoms like brain fog, skin problems, digestive issues, and chronic fatigue. Many people at this stage get diagnosed with metabolic syndrome, diabetes, or other conditions without anyone connecting it back to their liver health. Stage 3 is fibrosis, where scar tissue begins forming in your liver as your body tries to repair the ongoing damage. Your energy levels crash, mysterious health problems multiply, and you might start experiencing pain in your upper right abdomen where your liver is located. This is a critical stage because if the damage continues, it becomes much harder to reverse. Stage 4 is cirrhosis, which is often considered the point of no return. Your liver is so scarred and damaged that it can barely perform its essential functions. This is when people develop serious complications like fluid retention, internal bleeding, mental confusion, and eventually liver failure. Without a liver transplant, cirrhosis is often fatal. The absolutely terrifying part about this progression is how quickly it can happen in our toxic, processed food environment. People can go from stage 1 to stage 4 in just a few years if they continue eating the standard American diet while living in our polluted environment. But here's the incredible news that gives me hope as a surgeon and fills me with excitement about your potential for healing. Your liver is the only organ in your entire body that can completely regenerate itself. Even if 70% of your liver is surgically removed, the remaining healthy tissue can grow back to full size and function within just a few months. This regenerative capacity is absolutely unique among human organs, and it means that no matter how damaged your liver might be right now, you have the power to heal it if you stop poisoning it and give it the support it needs. The key is understanding that you have to stop the habits that are causing the damage while simultaneously supporting your liver's natural healing processes. You can't out-supplement a bad diet, and you can't detox your way out of a lifestyle that's constantly re-toxifying your liver. But when you eliminate the sources of liver stress and provide your body with the right nutrients and environment for healing, the results can be absolutely miraculous. I've seen patients reverse years of liver damage in just a few months by making the right changes. I've watched fatty liver completely disappear, inflammation markers return to normal, and people regain energy and vitality they haven't felt in decades. But it requires commitment to changing the habits that created the problem in the first place. The most important change you can make starting today is to eliminate processed foods and hidden sugars from your diet. This means reading every single ingredient label and avoiding anything that contains high fructose corn syrup, added sugars, artificial preservatives, synthetic colors, or ingredients you can't pronounce. Focus on eating whole, unprocessed foods that don't need ingredient labels. Fresh vegetables, fruits, high-quality proteins, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats. You also need to support your liver's detoxification processes by staying properly hydrated with clean water, getting regular exercise to improve circulation and lymphatic drainage, managing stress through meditation or other relaxation techniques, and ensuring you get adequate sleep so your liver can perform its overnight repair and detox functions. If this video has opened your eyes to the silent epidemic that's destroying American livers, I need you to take action right now. First, like this video if you want to save your liver before it's too late. Second, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the complete liver detox protocol I'm releasing next week, where I'll give you the exact step-by-step system to reverse liver damage and restore your health. Third, leave a comment below and tell me which symptom made you realize your liver might be in trouble, because I read every single comment and I want to know how this information is impacting your life. Your liver has been fighting for your life every single day, working tirelessly to protect you from the toxic world we live in. Isn't it time you started fighting for your liver? Don't wait until you're sitting in my operating room or another surgeon's office, facing the possibility of liver transplant or watching your health deteriorate beyond repair. The time to act is right now, today, with the very next meal you eat and the very next choice you make. Your future self will thank you for watching this video and taking action to protect the organ that's been protecting you your entire life.